Alright, welcome back. I'm sure that most of you are actually accustomed to how to navigate in Maya together with some of the things that I mentioned in chapter 1. Okay, for today's session, I'm basically going to talk about polygon primitives. Let me try to create a few polygon primitives for you all to see. Okay, these are basically three of the polygon primitives. In the polygon shelf, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 polygon primitives altogether. Okay, what are polygon primitives? Basically, they are the basic building block or foundation in modeling a 3D character, a 3D props, a 3D vehicle, and so on. Take for example, let's say plasticine itself. I mean, I'm sure most of you all played clay or plasticine. It comes in a box form, a rectangle form. You just form from a box, I mean from a rectangle to the shape that you desire. The same principle can be said for when you want to create a character and a prop by using polygon primitives. Okay, so how do we access the polygon primitives? From the shelf over here, or create polygon primitives, and there you go. All right, right over here. Okay, so how do we create polygon primitives? You can either click on one of the icon, and normally whenever you click on any of this icon, Maya will display some sort of like an instruction, like what you should do next. So for this instance, it says drag on the grid, so I just drag on the grid to form a sphere. All right, to form a sphere, let's move this one up and further in front. And for the cube itself, let's say, okay, and Maya says just drag the base on the grid, then pull up for height. Basically, we just have to create the base, how big you want. Alright, let's say around this size, and set up for the height for the cube. Alternatively, if you want to have a perfect cube, a one-to-one cube, rather than following their instruction over here, you can actually hold down the shift button, left mouse, and drag, and there you go, you have a one-to-one ratio of a cube. Same goes for some of the items over here, but normally they would provide a set of instruction like, okay, drag the base on the grid, then pull up for height. This is the cylinder, all right, and this will be the cone, the same thing as well, same treatment. Plane, there's nothing much here, and this would be the torus. Okay, torus, nothing much over here, and the process goes on and on and on. All right, so these are basically the polygon primitives. All right, I'm going to delete some of these polygon primitives. Okay, if you want to select multiple polygon primitives, you can do so. Hold down the shift button and select the polygon primitives and hit delete. For now, I just want to focus on the cube alone first for the time being. All right, for the time being, ignore the rest first. Okay, what holds a polygon? All right, what holds a polygon? Basically, a polygon itself consists of three main components, namely the vertex or points on the edges of a polygon. Two vertices will form an edge. All right, and of course, four edge will form a face. These are the three important component selection for every polygons created in Maya. Let's say if I create a sphere, it holds the same, it will tell you the same story. It basically shows the same principles of the vertex, edges, and faces. All right, over here. Okay, how do I invoke that small menu just now? How do I switch in between these three component selection? Select the polygon itself, right click, and there you go. You can see edge, vertex, and face. Okay, for this green part, as I mentioned previously when I did the navigation tutorial, this is called the object mode. okay, the object mode. And one more thing I forgot to mention, whenever you open up, let's say you create a new scene in Maya, for example, you will be greeted by, this is what we call a wireframe. Okay, wireframe mode. That means it's a see-through kind of approach where I can see all the angle. There's no color applied on this polygon. You'll be greeted by the wireframe mode of an object you created. Okay, no need to worry about that. If somehow you felt wireframe, you want to see the physical form of the cube itself, you just hit on your keyboard the number 5. All right, this actually toggles the shaded mode for the polygon. If you press 4, you go back to wireframe form. Okay, 5 is for shaded form. Okay, so back to the right click again. Yeah, once you selected this polygon, if you create any polygon, you just right click. Object mode is the default mode normally. Okay, so if you want to select it as vertex mode, okay, you right click, vertex, and there you go. Each one of these purple points are the vertices of the polygon. Alright, you can select multiple vertices in one go by dragging a box over the vertex. Alright, dragging a box. Or if you want to select them individually, you can do so by selecting them one by one. Sometimes it's very useful, you know, if you still remember the 4 view over here. If I want to select the front part, the front vertices of the object, maybe I go to my top view and select them in one go. Therefore, I will select the front vertices of my cube. Side, I just select the side, my right hand side of the cube, and so on and so on. Repeat over and over again. Okay. Alright, those are vertices. Okay, and now would be the edges. The edges actually serve the same purpose. Alright, so I just hold down my shift, or you want to select, well, specific edges, you can do the same approach as you did for the vertices. Normally I rarely use edges. Most of the time I will use vertices and faces, but it depends on certain situation whether when you want to make an adjustment on the edges of a polygon. And now the final selection would be the faces. Alright, faces right over here. I can select the top face, the front face, side and side. Multiple faces will do as well. Alright, multiple faces. Okay, and let me create a sphere. Okay, the thing is about faces, right? You can specify which face you want to delete. Alright, let's say if I want to delete this portion on my polygon, I can hit the delete, and there you go. I have a hole in the middle of my polygon. Next chapter of the tutorial, I'll be mentioning about how to modify the polygon. Maybe you want to mold the shape, you want to pull the vertices, you want to pull the edges, you want to pull the the faces, and so on. That I will mention, that I will cover on later topic. And also I will mention about the each polygon that have their own set of inputs, where I can actually add more what they call here subdivision, basically adding more edges and faces. I'll cover that on the next topic. Hope the understanding of the basic polygon primitives is there. Feel free to go and play around, feel free to create all the polygons, and next class we will be modifying the shapes and maybe the input panel of each polygon. Hope you learned something from here. Thank you and have a nice day.